So about an hour and a half ago, I got a notification on my mobile phone to say that there is a red alert here in the UK for the Northern Lights, which kind of got me curious because every time we get a red alert here in the UK for the Northern Lights, I'm awake at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not awake at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, so it's got me excited enough to start packing a camera bag and looking at the possibility of driving up to Flamborough Head just to see if we get some of the aurora over the northern UK this evening. So I'm going to start getting things packed, we'll start thinking about getting in the car, and let's just see what happens if we get any northern lights here in the UK tonight.
So we've made the drive up to Flamborough and you can indeed see the northern lights. In fact, you can actually see them with your eyes, you don't even need the cameras. So I've come to a really sketchy spot on the cliffs. It's a place I've taken photographs from before, but I just thought we'd try and get a composition from here at night with the northern lights above the North Sea. So I'm going to orientate the camera so we can get a cliff face, and well, it's pretty much going to be a long exposure of the cliff face, the cliffs surrounding it, a little bit of the tide sloshing around, but obviously the main feature of this is going to be the greens and the reds and the pinks of the northern lights above it. So I'm using the Olympus EM1 Mark II. I have my Laowa 6mm lens on, which is giving me a nice wide angle, and the back of the screen was pretty black. I managed to focus on the lighthouse, which is about as infinity as you can get around here, but because this is such a wide angle lens, that's not really going to be too much of an issue. I've got f2.8 dialed in, ISO 640, and we're getting a 50-second exposure. So I'm going to turn this light off and let's take this photograph. All right, so this here is just a little quick test shot. You can just about see there's a lot of pink up in this corner, there's some pink around here. And well, most of the sky is bright green, but it's also really cool because it's been reflected in the North Sea as well. So I've got a white balancing point down here. So there are some white waves crashing around at the bottom. That's going to give me a point just to white balance off, which will hopefully keep the colours nice and stable. But the problem with doing photography like this in the pitch black is it's a little bit of trial and error. So I can already see that I'm chopping a lot of the cliff face off of the bottom. So that's just going to allow me to just tilt the camera down a little tiny bit, like so. And what I'll do, I'll take the same photograph again. So 50 seconds, ISO 640 I think it was, and f2.8 using the 2-second timer. So I'm going to take the same photograph again, but I've just tilted the camera down just an ever so slightly little bit more, so we'll get some more of the cliff face in front. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but there's an awful lot of spray coming off the sea. So I want to get this photograph taken as quickly as possible so I can get the lens shelter from the spray. Hopefully we'll get a nice photograph from here, then we're going to move up the cliffs in that direction. And fingers crossed, we'll get a nice photograph from the bird watching station as well. I'll show you this photograph when it's been taken. Here it is. So there was that photo, and I'm super stoked to have got that. Every time the Northern Lights has kicked off around here, it's one that I've tried to get, but I've never quite been able to get it. I've either been in bed for work or the cloud cover just hasn't really played ball. So I'm really pleased to have got that photograph. But I think now it's time to move off of this cliff face, and we're going to move up towards a bird watching station just on the tops. And there's also the Drinking Dinosaur rock formation as well, and I'm curious to see if the aurora's moved far enough down to be able to get something over that. So let's pack up, get out of this sea spray, because everything's getting a little bit wet and I'm getting a little bit cold. So it's time to get on the top and to see if we can't take some slightly more safer photographs. So just behind us, there is the bird watching station, and I'm kind of thinking that's going to make for an interesting and fun subject. I've seen a lot of people out here just stood on top of the cliff tops, and while it's a great way of doing it, I always feel that nighttime photography really does in the subject, which is why I've chosen the bird watching hut behind me. It just anchors things down. It's all good and well getting a picture of the northern lights and everything, but you just need something in the photograph. So I'm going to get the camera set up, I'm going to take a picture of the little bird watching hut, and hopefully there's still enough lights behind us to get an interesting looking photograph. Okay, so I've managed to take a photograph of the bird watching hut, and I think this is the photograph. As much as I liked the one from the cliff tops, this one just has all the extra little elements in there. So we've got the subject, which is the bird watching hut. There is some grass that's just been catching the light as the lighthouse spins around behind us. We're getting the pinks, we're getting the greens, but we're also getting some stars in there as well. So all of these little elements have just come together just to make a slightly more interesting looking photograph, and I'm really pleased with how this turned out. The photograph itself was taken at f2.8, it was a 15-second exposure, and the ISO was 800. So in case you was wondering, this kind of photography is entirely possible on a Micro Four Thirds sensor. So if you ever see the Northern Lights and you got your Micro Four Thirds camera, get out there and just try and see what you can do. And I'm absolutely thrilled to bits with that photo. I'm looking forward to getting home and playing with it on the computer. So there we go, just a couple of photographs of the Northern Lights above Flamborough. I'm absolutely thrilled that I made the decision to come out tonight. I was umming and ahhing about it. At times it looked as if it wasn't going to happen, but I'm glad that I made the decision. I know this video wasn't a very long one, but there's not really a lot in the way of subjects around here to take. And the drinking dinosaur, I had a look on the phone. You can spin around with your phone, you can see the green and the orange and the pinks, and you can see all the colours when you move around your phone. There's nothing over there, so there's no point walking along the cliffs and sort of risking life and limb to take a photograph that we haven't got. So thank you very much for watching this very short video, but I do hope the 2 photographs that I created tonight, I do hope that you enjoyed watching them. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up and a like. It does help the video and it helps show my stuff to new people. And if you liked it a bit more than that, there is a subscribe button below me. You can press that and see more nonsense with Micro Four Thirds cameras from myself every single week. And I'm kind of hoping that this isn't the first and only Northern Lights video that I'm going to put out this month, because in a couple of weeks I'm heading to Iceland and I really hope we get some Northern Lights there. But thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace and goodbye.